In Fire Watch Now, we now have a better idea of why the Little Valley fire started. However, a judge may decide whom, if anyone, is responsible for the damages. Zach Mooney is in the newsroom now with details on the independent review of the fire that we first reported on last night. And Zach, it was mostly wind, right?
Yes, it was, Landon, but the drought also had a lot to do with the fire going from a controlled burn to a wildfire. Now, according to the Nevada Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, high winds not only started the fire, but they also kept firefighters out of that controlled burn area. The Little Valley fire started from a controlled burn just after midnight on October 14th. Pushed by wind gusts up to 87 miles per hour, the flames quickly spread into Washoe Valley, destroying 23 homes and 17 outbuildings. 4 months later, state officials completed an independent review. Wind was the main factor for the fire's escape. Another was a decrease in staffing in the days leading up to the wildfire. The final day of mop-up, October 13th, firefighters were responding to smoke in part of the controlled burn area. That evening, the crew was told to return to their station if the area was no longer a threat, and did so 30 minutes later. The two people in charge discussed the high winds that night. Because of the limited amount of heat, success of the mop-up to that point, and to the risk of firefighters working in timber during high winds, they decided not to staff the burn area that night. It is worth mentioning the forecast that day did not include a fire weather watch or red flag warning. Drought conditions in the area where the fire escaped also made it easy for the wind to kick up embers from that controlled burn. Finally, the embers had just a short distance to travel before hitting fresh fuel. The Department of Conservation and Natural Resources has asked the state fire warden to conduct a full review of NDF policies and provide the state with a plan for updating and improving its prescribed fire program. The Little Valley Review has 5 pages of recommendations. Governor Brian Sandoval plans to look over and discuss the findings with the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, adding in a statement, quote, "I would like to express my heartfelt sorrow to the victims of this tragic event and my sincere gratitude to the first responders and firefighters who battled this intense and shocking event without injury or loss of life."
Frankly, I appreciate the governor's statement, and hopefully that statement then converts to actually an action plan as well.
David Houston represents many of the residents who lost everything. He says the state normally caps reimbursement at $100,000, but he is looking to get full compensation from those responsible.
There's no way they're ever going to be wholly compensated for all of their memories and the things that they cannot recapture, no matter how much money is paid. But to suggest they shouldn't be able to rebuild their homes or repurchase certain items, that's not fair.
Now, we did speak with the Nevada Division of Forestry today, and they are not able to comment on the fire or this review due to pending litigation. Now, the state's review also points out that prescribed burns are the second most effective method for reducing fire fuel and improving the forest health. And that's behind hand trimming small trees and saplings where the forest is too dense. Covering the story live in the newsroom, Zach Mooney, Channel 2 News.